Yo, what's up everyone? My name is Andrew Warren, and in today's video, we're going to be doing another transparency update. So as always, that's me talking about my gains and losses for today, breaking down the portfolio, and simply talking about some important things going on in the stock market right now, and some predictions and perspectives I have on things looking into the future. And so as always, if y'all do enjoy these transparency updates, please make sure to smash that like button. But just getting into the content for today, of course, we will be discussing Tesla stock on top of everything else as well. And that includes this most recent dip that we saw today, where we are starting to see like a little bit of a pullback with Tesla finally, after what seems like such a huge run-up of over 100% gains just in the past 3 months. As you can see right now, just in the past 3 months, we are up 169.84% for Tesla. That's $303 added on to the new split share price for Tesla, which is absolutely huge. To see this much gains in only 3 months alone is something that's really unheard of. And if we look at the past month especially, we're up over 50% at plus 63.71%. So that's around $187 added on to the share price. So just what we've seen over a matter of a few months has been absolutely a game changer for Tesla investors, and people are turning into millionaires. Normal people just like me are turning into millionaires because they decided to buy a lot of Tesla stock early on when it was around like $50 before this huge surge that we've seen over this past year. So people were able to get in on Tesla right before this absolutely huge surge where it's up over 975% this past year. So honestly, the pullback today, I'm not even disappointed. It's due time. Obviously, I was hoping for another green day, and with yesterday's video, I did predict that we could see another big green day for Tesla today, just because of the fact that I've noticed in the past there does seem to be some consistency where if you have a really huge green day the first day for Tesla, it seems like there's almost always that next green day that's actually pretty far into the green. It's not just like plus 2%, sometimes it's like plus 4, plus 5%. So I was expecting for us to see another day like that for today for Tesla, but like I said, there will be those times where I'm eventually wrong, and in this case I was. But the really interesting thing about all of this is that before the 9:30 a.m. marker, I was actually up at like a little over 6 a.m. this morning, and I noticed in my portfolio that Tesla stock was up like 6% just in the after hours, and my portfolio was up $10,000 in the after hours alone, and still it was at plus $16,000 from yesterday. So just at that one point in time, my portfolio had gained like $26,000, and it was at like $172,000 at that point. And I have to be honest, when I saw it this morning at that huge movement in the after hours at plus 6%, I was kind of thinking, okay, it's already extremely far into the green in after hours, and I was almost like a little bit cautious on that one, pretty much thinking, how could it even be better than this in the normal market hours? Like, how in the world is the normal market hours going to beat this growth when the after hours is already up like 6%. So that was almost like a red flag in itself to see the after hours up that much, just because I was expecting a gain like that beginning in the normal market hours. So that was almost like a red flag in itself, just because of the fact that it was up so much in the after hours at that point in time. And so as we can see from the portfolio, I basically use this to represent Tesla, considering that Tesla takes up like 86% of what we see here. So as you can see, we did start out in the pre-market at plus 0.79%. That was at least in the gains. And then after that, we got a little bit of a decline, and then a bounce back up to 9:30 a.m. at plus 1.07%. And so at this point in time, I'm assuming a lot of people started having hope for Tesla for the rest of the day. But unfortunately, we had a huge dip down to this point at minus 4.29%. And then I'm assuming a ton of people took advantage of this and bought it, and it started to go back up to this point at 10:30 a.m. And that's where it started to pretty much decline for the rest of the day. We hit this low point right here at 3:15, and then it started to slowly incline back upwards and into the after hours as well. So we have gained a little bit in the after hours, and I think that's simply just because people are taking advantage of a day like this. Honestly, when there is a red day for Tesla, I honestly don't think it's too bad to take advantage of that day and buy some Tesla stock, because sometimes it's a little bit difficult to get those opportunities where you can actually buy Tesla at a cheaper price than what it's been going for recently. And as I've said in previous videos, I look at green days as, of course, a good thing. My portfolio is gaining value, but when there's red days, I don't get sad about them. I simply just look at them as opportunities. So that's the thing about today. Today is a great opportunity for those that wanted to get in on Tesla stock. Decided not to yesterday because of it going up so much just in that one day, and then I guess patience paid off in this scenario. However, as I always say, I'm more of a dollar cost average person, so even if I had cash yesterday, I wouldn't mind buying at that price. I usually just buy stocks when I have the money. As soon as I get the money, I buy stocks. However, I think today is more so for those investors that have already owned Tesla and owned Tesla before the split and are just simply taking advantage of the hype dying down just a little bit on Tesla today. And the great thing about this as well is, likely with today, we are transferring these shares from the weak hands to the stronger hands. The people that are likely buying Tesla stock today are most likely long-term investors, and we have this transfer from weaker investors that don't have a high risk tolerance to the investors that have a pretty solid risk tolerance and believe in Tesla long-term. And honestly, to invest in Tesla, you do have to have a pretty solid risk tolerance, just because of the fact that Tesla is very notable for having a lot of volatility on some days. And so you have to be able to hold strong and hold through those days and still continue to have faith in the company, which is what a lot of the long-term investors do. So keep in mind that with yesterday, we had a lot of new investors coming in, and we had a lot of quick money people. So with Tesla going up so much yesterday, and it continuing to go on an incline instead of just straight across and continuing with the normal gains, or even something like Apple where it's just a slight incline, yesterday we had a huge incline upwards. So some people were buying about in the middle section here, just hoping they would get some gains by the end of the day. And so there's likely a lot of them that sold off today once they started to see Tesla drop a little bit. So they probably sold off right here, and then some of them started to sell off right here as well on the way down. And that's when the stronger hands picked it back up, and then of course the rest of the people started to sell off here once they realized it was likely going to be a red day. So that is kind of a problem when a stock actually starts to grow as much as Tesla has been recently. One issue that I do have with that is that it starts to get some of those investors that don't even really believe in the company, but they're just buying the stock because they think it's quick money. And I even noticed yesterday on some of the forums like Reddit and stuff, there were people saying they don't understand why Tesla's up so much, but they just said YOLO and bought some shares anyways. So that is kind of an issue where some people that don't even really believe in the company and don't even really care about the company are just buying Tesla just because of the fact that they know it's basically printing money right now. And so there's a lot of people like that buying into Tesla, and that's why I'm glad we have days like this, because it weeds out those weaker investors that don't believe in the company. And of course, it once again lets these long-term investors that actually care about the company and believe in it long-term and want to invest in it and hold their shares for a long time, it gives them the opportunity to buy it from the investors that are too scared to hold it for more than a few days. And I've even stated in past videos with this channel, in my opinion, Tesla stock is not for the short-term investors. It's not for the short-term traders. Tesla stock is the perfect stock for the long-term investors, in my opinion. For those people that have always chosen to invest in things for the long term, I think Tesla is a great opportunity because it is at a little bit of a premium, and that's just because of the fact that it's factoring in things into the future. However, if an investor is able to hold Tesla for the long term, those things will likely eventually come true as Tesla continues to expand and do things successfully. So that value gets representative with Tesla in the long term. And of course, it continues to grow, it continues to factor more things into the future. And so I think even at this point in time, Tesla stock is still at a pretty cheap price. And so, like I said, even though it's not a green day, I can look at this in a positive sense and actually be happy about the fact that we have a red day, just because I realize that the people buying on this red day are likely long-term investors, and it's also weeding out the weaker investors. Honestly, I don't want any weak Tesla investors. I want to have a lot of us that are willing to hold this stock thick and thin for the long term, hold it through the road bumps, weather the storm, and all of those things. And the more investors that we have like that, with that vision, then that goes along with the supply and demand thing that we talked about the other day, where if there's a lot of long-term investors holding their shares, they're likely not going to be selling it anytime soon. Therefore, Tesla shares hypothetically become more rare because more people are demanding them than selling them, and in the future that could cause the price to go up if a lot of Tesla investors are holding for the long term and they don't mind days like these where we have red days. And so it's kind of just one of those reactions that can be expected when you have such a huge run up over these past couple of months. There's even investors that are probably not even really scared. They just want to cash out on some nice gains because they're satisfied with that. So I think there's a lot of investors like that, but there's also a lot of investors that I think don't really understand Tesla, but they're buying it because of everyone else that is buying it. But the thing is, they don't really understand it, whereas there's a lot of long-term investors like us that understand why we're buying it. We understand we're paying a little bit of a premium for the future, but we have this faith long-term, and we're going to continue to hold for the long term, whereas this person is kind of just copying what everybody else is doing. And when you do that and you don't have faith and conviction in the stocks that you're personally investing in, then that leads to you having weak hands and getting scared when you see days like -3%, -4%, or even worse than that. And so, like I said, you have a lot of those investors that have been attracted to Tesla over these past couple of weeks just because of the fact that it has grown so much. So obviously when things like that happen, it will attract those weaker investors. However, when you have days like today, it kind of helps solve that problem a little bit, where they start to sell off some of the shares, and then those shares get transferred to long-term investors that are buying on days like this. So I honestly don't have a problem with this. I would rather weed out the weaker investors right now than have it build up more and more into the future until there's like that possibility of like a -10% in one day. So I'd rather go ahead and just have it taken care of right now than have to deal with it in the future if it builds up. So I'm completely okay with a day like today. And so just to address the portfolio, as you can see, we are at $159,812.60. And then for today, we are at -3.52%. That's -$5,762.81. And then in the after hours, we are at +1.26%. That's plus $1,936.58. And so just addressing the normal market hours, yes, that is around -$6,000, but I have to keep in mind that this is only -3.52%. Yes, it's a bigger drop day than usual, but although it seems like a lot of money at -$5,762, what I really need to focus on is the fact that it's just a -3.52% drop. It just seems like a lot of money lost now just because of the fact that my portfolio has actually grown significantly over these past few months. Just over this past month alone, I've managed to make around $43,000. So it's almost like I'm not used to having this much money in my portfolio. So really the -$6,000 about it, that's not a big deal to me because I realize that my portfolio has grown a lot in value significantly just since a few weeks ago. So that's important to keep in mind. And then also just addressing the numbers for today. As I said earlier, -3.38% for Tesla today. That's -$4,789.15. And then for the total return, we are at +78.71% or plus $60,383.43. And then also we have Apple stock at +4% or plus $866.88. And then for the total return, we are at +87.72% or plus $10,535.52. So I believe Apple stock is actually at an all-time high today. So that's a big deal in itself. And I'm definitely excited to see this stock growing still. And I'm assuming that's because of the fact that the share price is just so low right now. If you compare Apple to Tesla, Apple is basically like 1/4, 1/5 of Tesla. So a lot of people are attracted to that one. But anyways, hope you all enjoyed this video. Please make sure to smash that like button. And also, feel free to check out Robinhood and Webull in the description below. If you sign up with my referral link, you'll get some free stocks. And especially with Webull right now, you'll get 2 free stocks if you use my referral link and deposit $100 into your account. And I'm actually pretty close on the summer competition right now. I'm in 74th place for referrals. And all I need is just a few more people using my referral link. And I could start to get near 20th place. And in 20th place, you get a free Facebook stock. So if you can, or if you know someone, please get them to use my referral link. It would really help me out, and I'm actually pretty close on this one. I still might not end up winning, but there's a possibility. But I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week.